What is Gunna on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 27 mixtape by Gunna. Basically, this product is called Drip Season 2, and it came out in the spring of 2017. So the thing about this particular project here is Gunna kind of came on the scene around the same time as Lil Baby as far as this first going to happen. I want to say he's kind of within the same, like, I don't know his full bound if Gunna is particularly like Young Thug, Slime Pitches like that, but I do remember him being around since about the mid 2010s as far as this first going to happen. Now, apparently he had been around since back in like probably 2013, 2014, 2015, about early mid 2010, some of those particular type fairs. He might have had a few tapes on Dat Pit back in those particular days, but this particular product here that I'm reviewing, Drip Season 2 is basically like a retail mixtape as far as this first can happen. So I want to say the first Drip Season was a downloadable tape that you could have gotten off of Dat Piff and some of those type places, and probably the projects he dropped before that. But within the particular type fair, I wanted to get to this one. Now, the thing about Gunna within the pitch behind it, I had him on the back burner for like the longest time. Originally, I was going to review a Gunna project, which the first one I was going to review was Drip Season from 2016. I was going to review that as far back as like the spring of 2020. I think it was actually May of 2020, or it was either May of 2020 or May of 2021 within one of those pitches, early COVID years, pitches like that as far as those first going to happen. Just kind of was on the back burner, never got around to it, kind of forgot within some of those type pitches within the tone, but I wanted to get to Gunna as far as those first going to happen. I realized within the pitch behind it, he went to prison for a good while along with Young Thug in like 2022, but he actually got out sooner, and he kind of caught flack because he copped a plea deal to get out of prison. A lot of folks particularly have a lot of backlash towards him nowadays within some of those particular type fairs. I look within the product of it, those particular sentiments are kind of tricky within the aspect because it feels like more folks would have had more respect for Gunna had he stayed in prison for like the 15 or 20 years that folks were trying to say within the pitch. I realize the codes of what particularly go along with that particular lifestyle, but just within the pitch as far as saying you have to question within the concept as to whether or not if the last record you want, it's just kind of the sentiment as far as saying would you just rather never hear a project by this person again until he's like 51 or just within the pitch. It's just kind of the concept. That's where I look after there. I realize that the people that had to go to prison in order for Gunna to get out within the pitch, but it's just kind of the concept that, this is kind of a snafu of a situation because if Gunna had still been in prison, this is kind of what happened with Young Thug here. Is I'm just questioning what's going to happen with Young Thug's career as far as these pitch. I think it's going to be good, but it's just been the pitch that 2022 is kind of a long time ago. It's been 3 years since Young Thug was kind of prolific, and trap music has become pretty damaged since like what's happened with like particularly Young Thug and Gunna going to prison. So it's just been a pitch. Like the Lil Baby album from 2025 quietly dissipated in the winter of 2025, and Future's 3 albums from 2024 are not as commonplace, kind of talked about as full bound with the pitch. It's just kind of the concept that some of these particular type albums, I just feel like the shelf life of a lot of these projects is just getting a lot quieter and a lot more reserved within the pitch. So Gunna did drop an album in 2024 within those fairs, but just kind of the pitch that his backlash within these particular times between his 2023 album, some of those type pitches, just kind of the format. But he is a blossoming kind of trap artist. I feel like he deserves the respect within the aspect just because he is keeping trap music alive, I'd say, within the pitch. So it's just kind of the concept as far as saying some of these type ones. This mixtape here is going to get a 10 out of 10 within the pitch. I recommend all 16 of the songs within the format of it. So some excellent type fare. Just a good quality project here. I look after the aspect as far as being able to say the tone behind it within the aspect of it is just kind of the pitch that this is not really a vicious kind of turn up project. It's very kind of malaise. This has like a similar type format to folks like Future, a little bit more druggy than Future, or basically not as druggy as Future, but just a more car-centric. Gunna's like a more car-centric version of the stuff that Future kind of does. It's kind of the pitch that Gunna within the pitch behind it, yeah, he's kind of slumped in most of these songs. It feels like a lot of this is kind of anguish, kind of Red Eyes type music within the format, but it doesn't necessarily designate the pitch. It's not exactly as if making songs for like smoking pitches like that, some of those type formats like the typical type fairs of like this is your tore up type song, this is your mud type song, this is your drank type song within some of those type pitches. Just kind of the format that it kind of has the lifestyle of just like drip life and some of those type formats of just that being everyday fare. At least that's how it was back in 2016, 2017, 2018, some of those type years within the pitch. That it's kind of the concept that it's very much productive and kind of wanderlust within the pitch behind it, but it's just kind of the format as far as saying that it's like Juice World, but just kind of more commerce related within the pitch. It's dreary, very much has like the evening malaise. It's very much like a sleepy type product. just moreover kind of dredgy and slog. Just really that kind of just orange skies, kind of 6 o'clock p.m. haze. This particular product just really feels like the slog, just like that aspect of just like the relief of after a long day, pitches like that. Just kind of the concept where it's not quite amidst like the turn up. There's very few songs on this particular product that are amidst like the dance club and pitches like that. Some of those type of spots of like the spice of strip clubs and nightclubs and raves and some of those type pitches. But it's just kind of the project. Just kind of like the prospect of like late task kind of wrap ups of just making that last bit of money, some of those type pitches, paying off those last errands, some of those type formats, getting like a quick meal at Taco Bell or Arby's, some of those type places, and just the product of just enjoying vehicle kind of stunt type fare within a relative kind of calm and lambent type sense. Just kind of the pitch of just like the commerce of just cruise outs and just enjoying the wave and pitches like that. Just kind of the ambience of just like this evening dredge and just kind of evening dredge and traffic as far as those pairs can have. Very much a cold type personality within the pitch, or cooler type personality, just very dredge within the aspect. I mean, this is very much trap within the aspects. It's very similar to Future, kind of similar to Lil Baby, has a little bit of Young Thug in there, some of those type pitches, but it's just kind of the concept that it's not it just is not fierce within the concept of like having the spices about it. It's within the pitch as far as saying it's kind of the pitch. But I look after here is excellent. Like I said, I recommend all the songs. It gets to 10 out of 10. One brief single off this product as far as those fares can happen. I look after it here as far as saying so that particular single is Beat the Case with Offset, who he really has a standout verse on this particular song. It's kind of the pitch that Offset was huge back in 2017 when he was dropping songs like Bad and Bougie and like Slippery and some of those type of ones within the pitch of like Migos from their Culture Day. So it's Primera, Offset, and Migos within the fare behind it. And Migos is not on the song, but Offset from Migos is on here. So Beat the Case. This gives like Zaytoven kind of neighborhood vibes, like an evening balm kind of get here within the aspect of it. Just kind of an initial drive out. So it's one of those type pitches that just like, all right, work is done. Probably the product is stepping out, but it just kind of does it in a more lazy type format. So this is not like the spice. It just kind of has the product of this kind of this more chill type factor within the pitch. This is a lot more chill type music. It's the same sort of tone when you think of folks like probably Juice WRLD and just more folks just with kind of it's more chill type factor with more within like the vibes of Juice WRLD and folks like that within some of those type pitches within the tone behind it. It's not. It's like I was saying before, just not the ferocious vibe, but this is a more revved up type one with the pitch. It's definitely a good banner type single. It's the initial kind of conduct of one. The thing about retail mixtapes is this is the format that is kind of in like the mixtape type, the budget of it within the pitch, where it's kind of within the narrowing type community of being free. It wasn't actually a free project, but it's just within the pitch. So the thing about retail mixtapes was it was just kind of this like basically like getting a mixtape just with like the album quality, but just kind of more underground within the pitch like the form. It was a strange conduit how those things kind of happened back in the 2010s, but it's just within the pitch that the gloss of like Gunna's albums was not quite as full-bound established yet. So this is kind of a conduit phase for Gunna as he walked out of the mixtape type era and got to more gloss of like putting out products for retail, some of that type format. So it's within the pitch. This is a pretty good promo type single and pitches like that. Just kind of the conduct of a good snag of Offset, some of those type fares. Just really much has like that. It's very similar within the same vein as Migos and Gucci Mane. Some of those particular type folks are on that time format, so it's a good type product here. Just looking after it. It's pretty good 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. type step out within the pitch. Just like basically more stunt type music, more so. I mean, I don't know if it's within it's not its full-bound designation within the concept. I mean, a lot of this album is pretty workaday within the pitch. This is actually a pretty good trap makeshift album within the format of it as far as those fares going to happen. Just kind of the embrace of just like tasks are done pitches like that. Still having a little bit more hustle within the pitch, but it's just kind of the concept. But it's good. Feels good to stunt more within the pitch, more so than full bound. Going to get tore up out of your mind. But within the pitch, probably some smokes in your system, I'd say. But yeah, I look after. So this album, this whole album as a whole, I recommend. There's not any further singles off this product, unfortunately. But just the aspect here, there are some good ones on here. So Japan is a real quality one. It's like a gnarled but thumping kind of trap rally. I had to say here, just heavy ride out. This is kind of like a mellower Travis Scott, and this song definitely has some slap buzz. So this would be a good 1-2 punch of Beat the Case. I'd have to say here, pretty good stump. Definitely good stunt type pizzazz within the concept. Just kind of pitch it, just like the format of really within the product of having like some good just bass and just things like that. Just kind of the concept of just like the knock of just kind of. It's kind of the knock of embellishing a bit and just kind of enjoying the product of like evening fare as far as this pitch kind of have. So just a good product. This would have been a pretty decent choice to have been like a buzz single, promo single, or second single, something like that, just in the formats of it. I feel like the song Ass is a pretty good quality one as well as like a woozy and glossy kind of R&B. I feel I feel like the song Ass is a pretty quality one as well. It's like a woozing, glossy kind of R&B flavored trap haze gonna get here. Just kind of a fusion of Lil Baby and Future. I'd have to say just good for late days as far as those pitches can happen. So like I was saying, most of this particular album is pretty evening based within the format of it, just within the context of getting a lot of these. It's pretty much between the hours of probably like 4:30 to about 7:30 pitches like that. Never really quite gets to like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, some of those type pitches. So just like the heavy nights of just like stunt night pretty much at like a strip club, some of those particular type fairs. But just when the pitch, a lot of this just has like that slag and bass. Obviously Ass is more intended for bass in mind within the pitch behind, but it's just kind of the format as far as it's kind of the off the wayside, just kind of just cruise. It's kind of more gelling type moments within the pitch, just kind of out and about within the fair as far as those pitches can happen. So it's just the product of it as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just kind of most of these songs, whether there are bells nearby or not, this is pretty good centric typeness for just commerce pitches like that. Just good standard knock for just like good vehicle companion, some of that particular type stuff. It's just like basic loud pack. This is kind of a vanilla loud pack type product within the pitch behind this basic vehicle type stuff. Just the pizzazz. I mean, obviously for crazy type fashions, Travis Scott's a little bit more riled up. Migos were a little bit more riled up in 2017, but this is just like basic chill type music for that particular type format. It just kind of something of more in between type moments within the fair. Just kind of just within the pitch, it just good, but it's within the concept that this is kind of just it's just a lot more sedate within the pitch. But I feel like Mayors is a quality one. It's like one of the album's most haunting, Red Hot. The song Mayors is one of the album's most haunting songs on here. It's like a red hot kind of torment to kind of get about this one. This is like a charged kind of Lil Baby vibe I particularly liked about this song, and this song has some hella slap about it. So a lot of Gunna's particular productions on here are a lot more glossed out and oily within some of these type pitches. Just has like that drip fashion, probably within the signature type appeal. This particular album talking about drip. Drip was kind of like the new variation, talking about swag back in the day as far as those pitches can happen back in 2016, 2018, 2020, some of those type fairs. Just within the pitch, looking after here within the aspect of it that it just is kind of, there are some moments on here that have Lil Baby vibes like Belly of the Beast, Mayors, and like Ass, some of these have ones in particular that have that particular format. Lil Baby definitely has some dark productions. He was definitely pretty morose, but there are some kind of here and there type examples amongst the pitch behind it. But Mayor's definitely pretty knocking type one with the pitch behind it. Definitely need to be more songs like this on it. This is one, not necessarily in a horrorcore type sense, but definitely one of the more shrouded type ones that definitely has a good aspect about it within the tone. The song Top is a vicious one as well. It's like a super daze kind of out and about quality head trip. Song Top's like a super days kind of out and about as far as this first can happen. Definite one to have some smokage in your system, pitches like that. Just quality head trip music, definitely good step out for that. Just basic kind of commute, here, and just kind of vanilla loud as far as this pitch can happen. Vanilla kind of loud pack. So I look after within the pitch as far as saying it's kind of one of those type ones, just kind of the in between type moments to just like cruise around some of that particular type fair. This one's not as dredgy, but it's just kind of the concept of having smokage in your system, just kind of being out in the wind as far as this pitch can happen. Now this is not as full bound like a social type project either. It's kind of within the pitch that maybe you do have like a good like +1, +2, some of those type pitches, just kind of your folks. It's kind of like your usual type folks, but it doesn't designate it as full bound. It just is more concentrated on like the appeal of kind of like the aspect of this like the typical kind of stunt type fair. This is very much like a stunt centric type project, but it doesn't have as much like the dap type songs as far as like gonna hotbox with your palace pitches like that. It's just kind of more for Dolo, kind of just like rolling in my drop top type appeals within the pitch as far as those pitches can have. So a good type flair. I feel like Shopping is a nice one here. It's like a ritzy kind of feeling, stone kind of vehicle trekking to kind of get this basic stunt type tune, usual day fair kind of unwind within the pitch. This song definitely hops pretty well. So yeah, I would say Shopping is basically like a pretty ritzy type one within the pitch, just real stone type one within the format of it, kind of good one to kind of smoke out in the road as far as pitches like that kind of happen. Just kind of more day fair kind of unwind, just more kind of typical dredge, like the aspect of 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. so those type pitch, but another one that has that typical kind of knock about it, just like Japan, just like Belly of the Beast, just like Ass, some of these type of ones here. It's pitches like that make no sense. Some of these type of ones within the fair behind it, Mayor, some of these type of ones. It's just within the pitch as far as those. There are some ones that are really good, kind of makeshift embrace type ones that have a little bit more just typical kind of format for like makeshift of like blue collar type sense within a relative type format. I mean, it's not as full bound like the designation as far as being Home Depot prone or Target prone, some of those type pitches, but within the format just having that particular aspect kind of about it. So Phase is one of these. It's like an elegant kind of trap anguish kind of get here, just crisp kind of unwind from like routine kind of dredge it, I'd say, just kind of subconscious Some of these are just kind of subconscious, kind of stunt type music within the pitch behind. It's kind of affable. It's kind of a product of just cruise around just within the pitch and just realizing, hey, I'm kind of in a Benz, or hey, I'm in a pretty nice truck or something like that, in a Hummer or whatever. Some of these type of pitches would kind of be about it. It's kind of like, hey, just the affability behind cruise arounds, just noticing the kind of this kind of subconscious type of appeal, just kind of ride around as far as this pitch can have. So it's just kind of the product of some of these type of ones. It's the elegance of this particular song, very much similar to like the kind of YSL type vibes, the Young Thug and folks like that. I'd have to say Playboy. Definite vibes similar to like Young Thug, Lil Baby, some of these type folks, more folks like that, Moneybagg Yo, some of these particular type folks within the format, definite Migos type pitches within it. There's some ones on here, like I would say there's at least another one that's kind of like Phase. I want to say Belly of the Beast is one of these type ones, but the song with Young Thug, Secure the Vibe, is like that as well, kind of more exquisite, kind of this brings back kind of mafioso kind of vibes, just in a more 2010s trap type format. It's a good type pitch for that. But Belly of the Beast is a pretty vicious one as well, or good, another one for like that makeshift type format. It's like a brooding kind of evening slog kind of get here. A little bit more jarred up, I'd have to say. This is one that has a little bit more spark to it. It's like a good smoke, a joint, just Tibble kind of dredge, I'd have to say here. Just Lil Baby vibes about this one in particular. Just kind of the format. It's kind of that dark kind of heroin type aspect, but just kind of in a format like that same type flair of like 4 o'clock p.m. type pitches. Just the same evening kind of embrace of it, but this one just feels more that it could have been like a promo single, some of those type formats. So this has a little bit more social. This one's not quite as like wind down type tone within pitch as much as Phase is, but it's just kind of the format of this kind of dredgy kind of liveliness as far as this pitch comes. So it's just kind of the format of like the slog of like a long day pitches like that, but just kind of within the format of this like typical kind of stunt, just subconscious wise within pitches like that, like I was saying about Phase, some of those type pitches, but it has a little bit more spark. Probably could have been a decent buzz single, some of those type pitches. I'd say High School is a quality one on here. It's like a smoky kind of neighborhood commerce kind of get. It's more it's kind of more trekking within pitches like that. Good for romping, I would definitely say here. Just kind of the product of just pitches like that. Good song to contemplate, sit on, and drop some of those type pitches within the format of it. Now, the thing about Gunna within the pitch behind it is he's not as much within like the 3-6 Mafia kind of more snack run type music. It's kind of aspect that I think with Gunna is not to have a problem with this particular pitch, but I think it's kind of aspect with him is kind of like, why would you walk to the gas station or places like that within some of these type vibes when you can just drive there? And it's kind of the pitch as far as that format kind of goes. The connect with that particular format just doesn't seem to have as much full bound appeal, where there's tons of these moments where you're going to have like amidst kind of like the night product of this walking neighborhood crawls, pitches like that, going through some of the city weavings, some of that particular type fare. It's just kind of the product that it kind of is the adaptation of kind of saying, instead of just walking to these places, the Taco Bell runs and like the local spots, the post office, some of these type of places where you're going, like the gas stations and like the pizza parlors, some of these type of places, kind of the pitch of just saying, cruise there, drive there, as far as this pitch now. It's just kind of the format. But High School with Them Pitch is a good song. It's just kind of a Tibble type format. It's one of the, it has like that particular kind of evening dredge like most of this product, but it's just kind of within the format as far as like, there's not a ton of songs like this within that particular type fare. Most of these kind of have the more, most of these have more of the inclination to kind of have more commerce in mind within the pitch, just less on foot, I'd say. So it's within the form of a good type tone. Secure the Vibe is a nice one with Young Thug. There are some pretty good folks on here. Young Thug's on here. Playboy Cardi's on here. I'm going to get to that song YSL pretty soon. Shad the God and Duke are on here. Duke is on here a couple times. So it's within the pitch as far as saying, but basically Secure the Vibe's like an exquisite kind of trap evening fog kind of get here. Just Malaise kind of vehicle based. I'd say just another day, another dollar, just within pitches like that. So yeah, that's the concept about Secure the Vibe. Just very much elegant type vibes, blue blood kind of exquisite trap music within the pitch behind it. Very similar to Phase and some of those type pitches. I'd say good Young Thug cameo on here as far as those pitches can have a good combo within some of that. Another day, another dollar. There's a lot of songs in this particular product that have that another day, another dollar type format within the pitch behind it as far as those pitches going to happen. Just kind of the Tibble dredge of just like standard routine kind of factory just within the aspect. Kind of like a more kind of steadfast version of like Hustler's Makeshift. Not as much amidst the grind like when you think of Clockwork Hustlers like Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, Jeezy, some of those type folks, but just kind of the dredge of just like, it's just Tibble type routine type fare. Just kind of like, it kind of has like the relief after like those things more so than the pitch of being amidst like the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock p.m. So it's just a good type pitch. It's like I've been saying, this is pretty much rooted in like late day. So YSL is a quality one. This YSL with Playboy Cardi is like a good taste of blooming kind of cloud rap to kind of get here. This is one that has like a dreary kind of muddy Juice WRLD vibes about it within the pitch behind it. Good type pitch for some of that. And it's like a long day relief to kind of get within the pitch behind. So this kind of the format, this Tibble long day, some of those type formats that just like This particular song has a little bit of frolic about it. It's kind of the pitch of like after a drudgy ass day, some of those type pitches within it. Just kind of dap with homies, some of those type formats, maybe PlayStation's on briefly, some of those type pitches, brief movies on some of those type fares. Kind of have like grab some Taco Bell, some of those type pitches within the format of it, just basic kind of gap within the format. I mean, some of these moments are kind of fleeting. It's this kind of aspect that most of the particular format is just not, this is kind of more, not necessarily like a stoic type product, but just kind of more steadfast within the pitches. It just doesn't, it's kind of amidst the hustle, but it's just more amidst like this kind of the concept of this being just kind of more in motion. It's just the pitch as far as saying it's just not much moments to kind of sit around. It's a hustle type format, but it's just kind of more amidst like the product of this, enjoying like the crew. It's kind of just more amidst the moments of enjoying the commerce after things are kind of done more so in the pitch. Just kind of the ambience of just appreciating like the free time to kind of have once you get tasks done, kind of the pitch behind. So it's just kind of that particular fair, just the moments of having like the Burger King in your whip and some of those type pitches within some of those type formats, just smoking good L and just kind of vibe out and pitch like that. So it's a good type tone. But trying to think of some other songs I haven't talked about here. I don't think I've talked about Money Talking. This is like a good trap makeshift relief to kind of get here. This drudgy ass day, like I was saying, some of these type pitches. This day in the life, I'd have to say about this particular tone. Very similar to Lil Baby type vibes. Once again, some of these type ones. This is pretty busybody within pitch. One of those typical type songs where Lil Baby would say, "Time is money. Don't really have much. I don't have much time to screw around." Pitches like that. Kind of got to be in motion. Gotta hop to it, but it's just kind of in the format of a more lazy type fashion as far as those first gonna happen. Just kind of the pitch of like most of the theme of this album is kind of the pitch of just that typical kind of mantra of that particular format, just in a more lazy type fashion, and just like the unwind of it, but still kind of being busybodied enough to where it's like same sort of mantra, just different time of day as far as those formats kind of happen. So rather than saying at 1 o'clock p.m. when you actually are busy, just kind of the format, this the same type pitch when things are winding down, just when the format, just keeping to like that particular type mentality of it. So that's the pitch behind it. I'm trying to think if I talked about another wave yet. I think for the most part I about wrapped up all of these. I think another wave is one of the last ones I haven't talked about here. There's like a glowy kind of stylish late day pep to kind of get within the pitch of it. This quality drip, I'd have to say, pretty spiffy type primer for getting riled as far as those pitch happen. So this is one. Another Wave is probably one of my more favorite songs off this particular album. Just has a real nice production flair about it. This is probably one that has a little bit more pep within the concept, like something to kind of get within the aspects of like relative turn up within the pitch. Kind of one of the few songs that kind of has more wide awake. One of the few songs that has a little bit more lively kind of like. It's one of the fewer songs that has one of the more lively kind of appetite for like some sort of rile up as far as those pitch can happen. Just kind of within the aspect, probably pretty similar to like Japan. A little bit of shopping kind of in there, here and there, and then kind of the concept of beat the case, some of those type ones within pitch behind. So it's kind of the format. But yeah, Another Wave definitely has some pretty good production fare about that one. Just real glowy and just swagged out, or real glowing, kind of dripped out type one within the pitch behind. So I think I talked about all 16 songs on here as far as those formats kind of happen just within the pitch as to how that happens. So I'm going to say, yeah, this album gets a 10, or this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10 within the pitch. Social score, I would give this social score of this product like a 10 out of 10, but it's just kind of the product. It's a little bit more kind of dislike, kind of more like, this product is a mild bit more stoic than like the particular product of what this product is a mild bit more stoic than the particular product of what I listen to within the formats of it. So it's within the formats first, and I mean, the quality is definitely on here. It has some good knock to be able to say. It's definitely something that has the pizzazz factor about it that's really ride out type music that's going to attract attention. People are definitely going to like the concept, but it's just a little bit more busybody and like the concept of more time is money type formats, where it's just kind of the pitch of being more selective in some of that particular type form within the format of it. Just kind of kind of more caught up within the pitch of just like, it's kind of caught up within less availability within the format and kind of more in motion within the pitch. So it's just kind of the format of it. So I'd probably say the social score would probably get maybe like a 9.25 out of 10, because there's just not enough kind of stunt type moments within the pitch. There are some moments like Beat the Case, I'd have to say Japan, Another Wave, traces of YSL within the pitch, but it's just kind of the format that it just is kind of more just the embrace of just like sticking to like the money get type format, just kind of being more amidst like the clockwork hustle, just in a more relief type fashion within the pitch behind. So it's just more steadfast type grind that just has like commerce. It's just kind of more lazy after effect. It's just kind of more of the lazy after moments of a hustle, just enjoying like the commute as far as this pitch happens. It's just within the ton as far as saying that. So 9.25, but it is a classic just to say within the pitch, but it's just not as much full bound social within the aspects. It's just kind of the tone. It's more steadfast. But I look after here in terms of the future, like Gunna has dropped an album as recent as 2024. I want to say he might be working on something in 2025. He has a number of projects. He does have like a project with Lil Baby, some of those type moments. I do want to get to that one, some of those particular type fares about it. Just what I have to say. This is a pretty vicious type classic here. This is a pretty pound sounding type classic here. And another thing to say, that despite the fact that I kind of ragged a little bit on like the social score, I will say that this is a product where you do have some smokes in your system. Like I was saying at the beginning, this is a product to have plenty of smokes within your fare as far as those pitch can have, but it's just kind of more isolated within the pitch volumes. It's kind of the product that I think most of these songs are kind of the jury after effect of just red eyes type formats, but it's just kind of the fact that this doesn't seem like Gunna really gets that bored with not having much company within the pitch volume. So it's just when the pitch as far as saying that's just kind of the format. So I look after here, 10 out of 10 score, 9.25 social, pretty excellent type pitch, has pretty stellar type formats just within the pitch. It's kind of more for Dolo, but it nails it.